Occasionally, a seemingly trivial detail can turn pivotal in a crucial affair. It might appear insignificant at first glance, yet how can one ignore it when it abruptly emerges? I must admit I am perplexed. I wasn't aware of certain developments until they were revealed in such an ordinary and disappointing manner. Since last Wednesday, a close friend began what he termed discussions with me. "What are your plans for the weekend?" he inquired. "Do you have any travel plans?" "No, not at all." "Are you suggesting we go out?" I responded, utterly unaware of the true intent behind his invitation. "No, I just wanted to ask if I could borrow the car again. You lent it to me not so long ago, and now we need it again. What do you think?" I thought about this request, trying to refresh my memory. There were no clear plans on the horizon, no planned trips, and I could easily walk to the store. To be honest, I'm not even sure if I've started to raise the price, but it hardly matters. I need to go to the village for my aunt's birthday. I have to pick up my grandmother and bring her to the celebration, and then take her home. She's not able to get there, so we need to help her. It's important. She's been asking for a long time, and I couldn't refuse. I agreed and told him he could come in for the keys on Friday. Merely hours later, my spouse approached me with a curiously similar inquiry. "What's your plan for Saturday? You're not tied up, are you?" "No," I answered, blissfully unaware of her intentions. "Fantastic, then it's settled. We'll hit the market early, stock up on some essentials, and head over to my mother's place. Not much going on in the countryside during winter. You might as well clear the paths of snow. Let's make it by 9 a.m., so you'll at least catch up on some rest." Her arrangement was so meticulously crafted that I felt a twinge of guilt admitting I had already lent out the car to a buddy. Upon hearing my commitment, Camilla's mood soured instantly. She scowled, really putting others first as usual, then swirled her hair indignantly and stormed off to the next room. Left to my thoughts, I pondered. Since when did her mother's house and shoveling snow count as my personal interests? On a serene Friday evening, Julian swung by, arriving on his bike and departing in a car. My concerns were minimal. A few months prior, he had taken my vehicle, only to return it in pristine condition. The only new addition since was the dashboard camera I had recently installed. However, my wife presented more of a challenge. She needed to catch a bus to visit her mother and spent a good part of 2 days lamenting about it, incessantly sharing her woes. I was counting down to Saturday. In her frustration, she even prohibited me from accompanying her to the bus stop. Once Camilla was gone, tranquility enveloped the home. A quick glance at the refrigerator revealed a rather stark reality. She had left nothing for me to eat. No matter. I dashed to the local market, stocked up on some essentials, plus a couple of beers, and settled in for a well-deserved break. I spent 2 whole days not looking up from my computer, idling and relaxing. On Sunday afternoon, my phone rang. It was my friend who informed me that his car was parked downstairs. He asked me to come out and check if everything was okay. Logan winked and handed me a bottle of whiskey. How about a drink? Yesterday this bottle was not on sale, but today it may be useful. Honestly, who would refuse such an offer? Later that evening, his wife showed up. I looked at the load she was carrying. "What is this mountain of canned food from your mom?" She shot back, exasperated. "Are you serious?" I was on my own in that rickety clunker, didn't bring back a thing. I just stayed there, lent a hand, nothing more. She declared around 7:30 and crashed into bed. I lingered in the living room for a bit, then it hit me. I'd left the playing cards in the passenger seat. Heading down to retrieve them, I climbed into the car, and a thought struck me. Better check the dashcams. What's Logan been up to? The moment you start the car, the recorder kicks in automatically. While zipping past the trees and cruising down the highway, I caught sight of the car pulling over in some isolated clearing. Suddenly, the vehicle began to rock gently back and forth, and I could hear soft sighs coming from inside. From what I gathered, Logan had picked up a hitchhiker en route to his grandma's place. Fair play to him, I thought, making the most of the journey, mixing business with pleasure, as the saying goes. Once we got back on the move, though, the countryside scenes were nowhere to be found. Honestly, I had anticipated catching sight of sprawling fields with cows dotting the landscape and chickens carefreely scampering across the road, but that was just wishful thinking. The next pit stop was at a petrol station. Without bothering to cut the engine, he filled up the tank while his companion nipped to the loo. Imagine my astonishment when I spotted my wife in the footage. Camilla reappeared shortly thereafter, and they continued their journey. The vehicle stopped at a quaint roadside inn, a modest establishment complete with a handful of rooms, a diner attached, and a fuel station. It's primarily a haunt for long-haul truckers. The subsequent recordings were marked with Sunday's date, indicating they stayed there through the night. Meanwhile, a so-called friend unapologetically treated me to drinks, cheekily claiming it was a gift from my aunt's birthday celebration. My lovely spouse strolled off for the day and returned in the evening, appearing both affable and famished. I doubt those two figures caught on tape could have presented their tale in any way that would deviate from what I had perceived. Nevertheless, they truly merited an Academy Award for their performance. I let my wife catch some Z's since she barely shut her eyes the night before. Quietly, I gathered her things in the morning, stashed them in the hallway, and listed the car for a quick sale at a bargain price. I spent the rest of the night nursing a whiskey, trying to wrap my head around the fact that in just one day I lost a buddy, my wife, and my cherished ride. As if that wasn't enough, I felt my faith in common decency and humanity slip away. Honestly, can't imagine a more audacious curveball life could throw my way.